Take a look at your lineup. Of course, Ragoza will continue to bat in that 2-hole behind Garza Gongora. Julius Ramirez will round out the top third of the order for the veteran head coach in his 9th year, Derek Matlock, down there at UTRGV with the Vaqueros. And on the bump, already has a legend brewing here on the 40 acres. Just a freshman at a modest 6'6". We'll get into his foot apparel at some point tonight, but a lot of excitement around this big man getting his first start of the year tonight, Sam Kozar.
I love the fact that you've had to point out that he is a freshman and he's already started the myth, but you see his performance right there last week, and tonight being his first start, I'm excited to see how he performs under the bright lights.
And saw him last weekend against the Lamar Cardinals, also members of the Southland. In fact, UTRGV, they start conference play this next weekend in Beaumont against those Cardinals. And Rocco Garza Gongora will get things started. And gets things started off on the right foot. UTRGV 2 years ago snapped a 48-game losing skid against these Longhorns. Their last win had been back in 1971. These teams have met 17 times over the years in the NCAA postseason. Longhorns got them back last year. Garza Gongora on the base paths. First pitch he sees for the single.
Didn't wait around, jumped right on it, and was able to drive the ball right back where it came from to start the show.
Well, he understands his job, set the table for the All-American Ragoza. Ragoza DH last year, puts a glove on this year at first base. His numbers last year, 384, 17 home runs, 60 RBI, can spray it to any field. From El Paso, sometimes you got to remind folks, UTEP does not have a baseball program. A lot of El Paso talent goes to UTRGV. Comparable, familiar atmosphere down there in the valley. A lot of success for UTRGV recruiting that other time zone in Texas.
Yeah, and the fact that you said that there's another time zone in the state of Texas lets you know everything about how big this state is and how much talent is out there as well.
Promising start here for the Vaqueros with Garza Gongora on first. Of course, Andrew Ermis behind the plate completes the battery with the freshman on the bump tonight. And the 2-1 pending here to Armani Ragoza.
Good life on that fastball, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Got it a little bit up, but it was tailing away just enough for him to be able to swing through that.
Armani was 1 for 3 last year with an RBI against Texas pitching in a game where Texas would prevail 11-4 in front of the home crowd. One on, nobody out, and the at-bat stays alive for Ragoza. Home plate umpire Ronnie Teague. Joined out there in the field by Clint Fagan, Matt McKendry, and Brian Oberholzer. Payoff pitch with the runner going. Garza Gongora will have to retreat, and the count will stay full.
It was a good jump right there, too. You got to put some guys in motion, probably be able to move around a couple people so he can make a good swing on the ball and try to extend first and third on that swing.
Already 9 RBI through the first 7 games for Ragoza. Again, the payoff pitch from Kozar. We'll have to wait. He's only thrown 1 pitch out of the windup tonight. It's the first pitch he offered. That man over on first, Garza Gongora, able to shoot it right back up the middle. There's your first out. It's a big one.
He was able to battle back, continued to go after the hitter, and the way he was able to move this fastball away, he's got good life on it. Another 93-mile-an-hour fastball that was tailing away from the left-handed hitter.
That leads to the 3-hole. Your DH, Julius Ramirez. It is his first year back with UTRGV. He's one of a handful of players who started with the Vaqueros went off to junior college, honed their craft a little bit. He was an All-American last year at New Mexico Junior College, same time zone as El Paso. Back here with Coach Matlock.
Kozar's looking like he's trying to establish his breaking ball a little bit. If you see him right before he gets on the mound, you can see he's holding a fork ball to kind of set it up for his next pitch.
Runner on first with one away. The 1-1 to Ramirez will have to wait. Again, that's Casey Borba among the returners in the infield this year for Texas. Joined by Mendoza and Rodriguez and the newcomer Timo Becerra over there at the hot corner this year. Over left side, foul by maybe a foot. Brian Oberholzer, our third base umpire, on top of it.
That one right there looked like he did go with the split finger and kind of kept him off balance, got ahead of it, was looking for a fastball, got out in front, pulled it foul. You can see the fork ball right there being set up.
The 1-2 from Kozar. Back-to-back Ks in the book for the freshman.
You talked about it, Lincoln. He's a freshman, got the first pitch of the game, hit right back up the middle, hard back up the middle, but then he was able to come back and get 2 big outs on strikeouts. Big time pitching right there.
Well, we've seen in recent years, just because you're classified as a freshman doesn't mean you have any lower of expectations. When you're a part of this staff. Pitching very much the strength of the number 3 team in the nation, Texas. So much returning from a year ago, including last year's freshman of the year. The big man in the SEC on the bump. He's transitioned into a nice starter. This is Easton Mumau trying to extend this inning. Again, the first pitch that Kozar threw in his start tonight. A single up the middle. 2 batters later, that runner is yet to be able to advance. Mumau last year, a .332 hitter, 49 RBI. Draws favorable comparisons to his teammate Armani Regoza, which just about anybody will take. And of course, he's from El Paso. Last year, first team All-Southland, was all defensive team as well. You see his numbers in recent years. Sam Kozart could be a pitch away from getting out of this inning.
What I'm liking right now is the ability to throw a mixture of pitches. You've seen the fastball with some good life. You've seen the breaking ball that he's left up a little bit, and you've also seen the split finger.
Runner on first, 2 outs for the Vaqueros. Caught looking. In his first collegiate start, 3 strikeouts in the first inning. Is that good? I'm told that's good.
That seems to be good when you
Scoreless.
start to look at it.
Heading into the home half of the first, Texas grabs their bats. Heading into the home half of the first, top third of the order due up for Texas, including Aiden Robbins, who this weekend against Michigan State did something we had not seen from a Longhorn since 2015. Hitting for the cycle, Mike Harge.
Yeah, that is an impressive display. And the one thing that you will notice, he's not afraid to hit the ball throughout the ballpark. Some guys look at it and you just try to pull. Some guys hit the ball the other way. He hits it to all parts of the field.
Banks one off the foul pole for good measure to officially secure that first cycle since C.J. Hinojosa did it a little over a decade ago. Of course, he's preseason All-American coming in from Seton Hall. Aiden Robbins scheduled bat third behind the returners from last year's SEC championship squad, Mendoza and Rodriguez. A mixture of newcomers and familiar names round out this lineup for SEC Head Coach of the Year, Jim Schlossnagle. He will be up against Colton Vercombe for the Vaqueros. Just like his counterpart Cozart, just 4 innings of work so far this year, and that's what Tuesdays are all about.
Try to stretch some guys out, get some opportunities on the mound. You want to go out here and win on Tuesday, so why not put some of your better pitchers out there? Although they're getting work, they have to make sure that they get out there and throw strikes.
Remember, they dive into conference play this weekend on the road in Beaumont. We do think it's probably going to be 1 inning per pitcher here early on for the Vaqueros, beginning with Vercombe. We've already mentioned this man tonight, Ethan Mendoza, hitting .462 so far this year. Sets the table for this talented offense for Texas that knows how to give this pitching staff a lead to work with. Mendoza leading the Longhorns right now in RBI in the top spot of the order with a team best 3 home runs as well. And last year was SEC All-Defensive Team, the former state champion out of South Lake Carroll High School. Of course, had a little detour before coming down I-35 to Austin, spent a year at Arizona State before coming over to Texas last year.
Coach Schlossnagle said that Mendoza was a thorn in his side while he was playing against him while he was at Arizona State, and why not bring him over?
Heading the count 2-1 here early on against Vercombe.
We talked about hitting the ball all over the ballpark. This is the prototypical guy that can move it in any direction.
And Verco, a couple of collegiate stops. The grad student now out of Santan Valley, Arizona. Pitched for Wichita State as well as Mesa Community College. Two-two to Ethan Mendoza. The count goes full to leadoff hitter for the Longhorns. The Vaqueros team that last year finished with a RPI of 43, just on the outside looking in of another NCAA tournament appearance. As this one will be pushed well foul.
Yeah, this is a interesting group, the Vaqueros, and you start to look at how, like you mentioned, they're getting ready for conference play. They're trying to get some guys in place to where they'll know the routine. The lineup hadn't changed that much. There's a lot of guys that are getting a chance to play early.
Sky high out to center. Garza Gongora has it for the first out. Well, Vaqueros last year, top 20 in the nation in fielding percentage and top 20 in double plays as well. You take a look at their defensive alignment tonight. Fisher completing the battery. Mumau, Viescas, Williams, and Raygoza, the infielders. Carter, Garza Gongora, who just made the out there, and Warren in the outfield. Or Derek Matlock behind his starting pitcher tonight, Colton Vercombe. Derek Matlock mindful you schedule all these teams, Big 12 opponents, SEC opponents, to expose your weaknesses by design. Makes you better for it, hopefully, when conference play comes around. In fact, again, they claimed the series against Houston. They felt like they should have claimed the series against Kansas.
Yeah, they had a lot of opportunity to capture that series. And you know as well as I do, when you start looking back at the end, you talked about their RPIs. Some of those games are going to matter a little bit later.
Adrian Rodriguez, the switch hitting short stump now in his sophomore campaign. Boy, has he grown since helping lead Flower Mound to that 6A state championship physically, just in the weight room in the past couple of years.
You talk about people gaining weight like Mendoza, who gained 20 pounds. Rodriguez lost weight, but he turned it all into muscle so he can play shortstop this year for the Texas Longhorns.
That one shot right at the Vaquero dugout. Adrian Rodriguez at the plate. One out, nobody on. After Mendoza flied out to center. Aiden Robbins in the on-deck circle. And Verco with his first strikeout. 2 retired now.
Once again, we've seen a mixture of pitches. You've seen breaking balls, you've seen fastballs. That fastball was on the outer third and froze Rodriguez. Good fastball right there. That's too close to take if you're a hitter.
Verco looking to face the minimum here in the bottom half of the first inning after the Vaqueros stranded their leadoff batter. Aiden Robbins mentioned a nice weekend against those Spartans of Michigan State, including the cycle on Saturday. And last year at Seton Hall, batted a modest .422.
Those numbers are something to think about.
Lays off that one, ahead of the count 2-0.
You don't hit that high by being just a dead pull hitter, no matter what level you're at. If you can hit like that, that will play anywhere.
Robbins, one of 10 transfers that Jim Schlossnagel and staff brought in. It's the number 3 transfer class in the nation that pairs nicely with the number 1 freshman recruiting class in the country, and that's how Texas finds themselves number 3 in the nation this year. First 2 batters retired by Verco, a fly out and strikeout. And not tempting for Robbins there, 3-1.
As a hitter, you want to sit right here and get yourself something elevated. You don't want to chase. Get you a little fastball and see how he's going to deliver it to you.
There's another preseason All-American on deck if Robbins can keep this inning going. We'll have a chance here, punches out towards right, and Texas will strike on this Tuesday night. Home run shot off the bat of Aiden Robbins. He knows the way home.
We talked about the power to all fields, and we got a chance to see that right away. He got a ball elevated up, got something he can handle, and didn't try to do too much with it. Stayed with his swing, and bang, bang, he hit that thing over the right field wall.
Little Lapo Taco Tuesday for Aiden Robbins. And we mentioned it doesn't let up. The transfer from Seton Hall gives way to the preseason All-American transfer from South Bend, Indiana, out of Notre Dame, Carson Tenney. He had 17 of those home run trots last year for the Fighting Irish. And 2 outs, nobody on after Robbins took a tour around the bases.
Carson Tenney, another one of those great numbers that you look at and you just can't believe that this young man is still in college with those numbers. He's up for the Buster Posey Award last year, finalist for that.
Burko. And got a fly out and strikeout to retire the first two Longhorns for giving up the home run to Aiden Robbins, third of the year for the new Longhorn. Tied for the team high now. And Tenney will be caught looking. Verco with 2 strikeouts. But one batter too late. Aiden Robbins touches them all and gives Texas the early advantage. 3-1 here on the 40 acres.
Sam Cozart, the big man on the mound, got his opportunity early. After a base hit, he came back with 1 strikeout. Then he came back with another, and then he had good life on that fastball to end the inning. He looks like he's ready, and now he's ready to go.
Base 4 in the top of the first. That means the 5-hole Thomas Williams set to lead things off here for UTRGV. As the Vaqueros had a chance to strike first. Stranded a runner back in that first inning, so Sam Cozart now works with a lead here in the top half of the second inning. And you see his outing this past week against those Cardinals of Lamar. Robbins out in center. Able to track it down after a little circuitous route. All right, mentioned the foot apparel for Sam Cozart. Takes some creativity when they don't make baseball cleats in size 18. They certainly make basketball shoes in size 18, Mike.
Yeah, you start to look at this and you're like, okay, how does this happen? I know there's been big men that pitched in the game before, but now they had to go make some new shoes for him to be able to perform. And of course, you got to go with the KDs and the Kobe's if you're going to wear basketball shoes.
Yeah, drill holes in the bottom of the basketball shoes, put your spikes in, and you're good to go. Clayton Fisher, the catcher for the Vaqueros, second up here. Nobody on and 1 away after Williams flied out to center.
You know, as a young man, he is probably still growing. Do you think his feet are going to continue to grow as well?
I mean, now you just can't look away, can you?
I'm looking at the pitcher's mound, and, you know, they got the slab there, the rubber. It almost covers the entire pitching slab when you start to think about it. Look at that. And that's the other part. You got to put the pitching toe on there as well.
And the 1-2 offering here to Chayton Fisher. Fisher had a couple of really good years in the Northwoods League, getting the attention of Derek Matlock. You wonder how a kid from Maple Grove, Minnesota winds up at one of the southernmost tips of the United States. Had a stop at Iowa Central Community College before becoming a Vaquero. Chayton, a big hockey player as a kid. Lazily, since he's a catcher, we would think he'd be a goalkeeper, but no, he was a scorer. And was probably cheering on a couple of gold medal wins for the women and men over there in Italy. And they're on their road trips again. They've been away from home for a while now, traveling Texas.
I mean, as soon as you leave from down that area, you're still traveling Texas. You talked about the trip with being El Paso being in the same state in different area codes, but you still have to make sure that you're playing the games, and they have to make all these different trips. We talked about that earlier today.
Payoff pitch, and it's a one-out walk for Chayton Fisher, second base runner early on here for UTRGV.
Great at bat by Fisher to be able to draw that walk. Laid off some tough pitchers from Cozart. Now we get to see Cozart back from the stretch, as you mentioned, after that first inning, after that first base hit, first pitch of the game.
Gives way to Diego Viescas. Slow start for the senior, hitting 154 this year. Does have 6 RBI. One on, one out. As Viescas bats in the 7th spot of the order tonight for the Vaqueros. Vaqueros claiming a piece of the Southland Conference regular season crown last year. Playing their 63rd all-time matchup against Texas here tonight.
Cozart very deliberate with his delivery to home plate. He's a big man, got to get all that moving towards home plate.
Fisher over there on first, has yet to attempt a stolen base. Shot out towards right. Anthony Pack Jr. shy of the warning track, and nowhere to go for Fisher, who has to retreat back to first with 2 away.
Good piece of hitting right there, being able to stay on that pitch. Just hit it right at Anthony Pack Jr.
Pack, the freshman out of Lakewood, California, again among the newcomers patrolling the outfield this year for Texas. Larson, Robbins, and Pack out there from left to right. Here's Cameron Carter out of the 8-hole. Vaqueros stranded one last inning when Sam Cozart decided to strike out the side. See if Carter can extend this second inning with the tying run on first. Just a modest 93-mile-per-hour offering.
Yeah, that location is what is always I'm looking at, because the movement on the pitch, if he's spotting it, and then being able to move it inside and out.
Several folks here trying to assist our home plate umpire tonight. In fourth batter of the inning, Cameron Carter. 2-1 count to his name, with Fisher the run on first after that one-out walk. Out of play, it'll be a souvenir.
Stayed inside that pitch right there too, fighting it off.
Carter looking for his first hit of the young season. Just 6 at-bats under his belt. Looking to extend this second inning. Ashton Larson in left. And for a second straight inning, UTRGV will strand a base runner. Sam Cozart through 2, working with a shutout performance on a Tuesday night in Texas. On in the first, thanks to the Aiden Robbins home run in the home half. Looking to find insurance here in the home half of the second. That other shade of orange in the opposite dugout tonight. Derek Matlock now in his 9th year at the helm of UTRGV, once known as UT Pan Am before the merger down in the Valley. What a legacy he's already put together there with what was already a storied program. Of course, Jim Schlossnagel knows all about Coach Matlock.
Yep, they've worked together, they've hung out together, they've been around each other, they've competed, they are great friends, and you know as well as I do, you try to always get that one up, but it's always the teacher versus the pupil, and now it is head-to-head, and we'll see what happens. But look at that program record, 22 conference wins last season, and that's why you can have all those players you were talking about that did great work.
Of course, across the way, and with whom he overlapped at TCU, Jim Schlossnagel. His most recent Coach of the Year accolade was leading Texas into the SEC last year. And what a debut it was for the Burnt Orange. Of course, Jim Schlossnagel kicked off last year by being inducted into a Hall of Fame. So that's 6 now Texas Longhorn head coaches now in the Hall of Fame.
Well deserved, and as you said, come in your first year at the University of Texas, 44 wins in your first season. Very, very impressive.
American Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. Casey Borba leads things off, and he is facing the newest arm for UTRGV. No surprise here, as UTRGV tries to get up to speed for this weekend, seeing what they have with their arms. It's Darren Barrera. Barrera's another one of these players who, from the Valley, from Edinburgh, right there in the backyard of UTRGV, started off in the area, but would go off to Coastal Bend College. Makes his way back for his second stint with the Vaqueros.
Loving the mixture of pitches right here that you've been able to see. You saw a breaking ball for a strike, and right there you saw that cutter. That's natural. He doesn't try to throw it. It's just his natural motion, and it's got great cut at the end.
And Borba able to get around on this one. Casey Borba, Ashton Larson, Timo Becerra. Minimum 3 due up to face the second pitcher of the night, Darren Barrera. And nobody on, no damage done, as that ball will get past Chayton Fisher.
Casey Borba hit his first home run of the season. You saw that he had 12 last season. He's somebody that they're trying to get going at the plate to fortify this lineup even more so.
Full count as Borba leads things off out of the 5-hole. Only batter among the top 6 in this lineup, not batting in excess of 300. As he'll go take first. Take a look at his numbers from the last couple of years, including a handful of Borba bombs.
Yeah, he was able to get into the lineup and be more consistent, get an opportunity. Now he makes the move from third base to first base, and he's done an excellent job defensively over there. Now he's just got to get that bat going, and I think the young man will be just fine.
So Darren Barrera, first batter he faces in relief. The walk. I want to go think he had some pitch comm issues. Ashton Larson, the junior, coming over from Baton Rouge, where he was a Bayou Bengal. Hitting .333 here early on with Texas. And tries to move Borba over. Let's see what he has in mind here.
I was wondering about how Texas was going to play this today. Are you going to see some hitting and running? Are you going to see some bunting them over? Just trying to work on some of those big moves and big situations to see how this team is going to react.
And another comms issue there in the cap of Darren Barrera. Again, last year's final was Texas prevailing 11-4 despite a late surge from UTRGV. Texas scored the first 11 runs. But no home runs in last year's game. So far, home runs responsible for 100% of the scoring here tonight. 2-1 to Larson. And the count will even up. Another great crowd here in Austin on a school night. In fact, both these programs can boast incredible crowds even when it's midweek. Texas had 6,500 for Lamar last Tuesday. UTRGV had 6,500 for Texas Tech down in the Valley.
It's amazing what people will do when the weather is nice and you get an opportunity to go watch some quality baseball. Texas packs them in, and you know Vaquero, I mean, UTRGV has been able to do that as well. That program is growing quickly.
Runner going. Swing and a miss from Larson, unable to protect him, but there's a great jump by Casey Borba, who has the stolen base on his own merit, while Larson down on strikes. Third strikeout for the UTRGV staff, 1-0.
Borba is someone that you're not used to seeing still in bases.
His first of the year.
He had 3 all of last year.
Here's Timo Becerra coming over from Stanford. As we all know, Stanford an ACC school. That one does not get far enough away from Fisher to tempt Borba to take third. Becerra, the redshirt senior, coming over from his home state of California. Casey Borba led off this inning with the walk against the new pitcher, Barrera. Able to steal second on the strikeout. Vach and Larson 1 away. The count 2-1 on that 90-mile-per-hour offering from the first man out of the bullpen tonight for UTRGV. And Borba just continues to take 90 feet after 90 feet.
What a jump right there by Borba. It got so big of a jump that they didn't even make a throw down to third base. And he's already almost to his total of last year with 3 stolen bases.
Well, all that leaves is home. The 2-2 to Becerra, not tempting. And Anthony Pack Jr. on deck out of the 8-hole. Andrew Ermis, the Texas backstop, in the 9 spot in this lineup. Borba, the leadoff free pass. Hoping to come home the final 90 feet. With 1 out, the payoff pitch. Becerra just foul.
Becerra is somebody that you would call a gamer. I was fortunate enough to be here this past weekend, and I got a chance to watch him make some special plays at third base. But not only that, he's helped this team as far as leadership. Playing in as many college games as he has, he's been able to help Adrian Rodriguez at shortstop, kind of calming him down with that opportunity, because that's where Becerra played last year at Stanford.
Well, and he's pushed Borba to first, and right now he's trying to push Borba home. The count stays full to one of the talented newcomers for Jim Schlossnagel this year. At this point, last year, Texas was in the midst of a 17-game winning streak, helping them lead their way into their first year in the SEC.
Ooh.
And that is another Longhorn batter caught looking, as 4 of the 5 outs recorded by UTRGV have been via strikeout.
Barrera with a slider that backed up. We talked about his cutter and how he sometimes doesn't know exactly where it's going to go, but that one was perfectly placed and tied Becerra up on the inside half.
One freshman in the lineup for Texas tonight, Anthony Pack Jr. Anthony hitting .429 here early on in his first year of college. Another Golden State native here in the bottom third of the order. So again, Borba led off with a walk, stole second, advanced down to third. A couple of strikeouts from teammates. They've been unable to bring him home the final 90, at least not yet.
Anthony Pack Jr., an impressive young man, as he's been able to get himself into this lineup. Jonah Williams has been out, been dealing with some injuries, and he's getting the opportunity to get in there and has solidified his spot in this lineup.
Well, it's feast or famine. It's either a strikeout or a walk. Runners on the corners, the walk from Pack to extend this inning. And an opportunity for Andrew Ermis, who looks for his first base hit. Product of Temple Junior College, former Reagan High School Rattler down in San Antonio. Now in his junior year. Looking for his first hit, looking for his first RBI in burnt orange, and he'll come through. 2-out RBI base hit. A little double lead for Texas. Borba finally comes home the final 90 feet. And Pack now just a base away from making it 3-0.
You're going to hear me talk about this all evening long. Being able to hit the ball the other way has become a lost art. And one thing that Texas has been able to do is find guys that aren't afraid to use the whole field. Situationally, that was perfect, found the hole, was able to drive in the run and get his first knock as a Horn.
Andrew Ermis is officially a .500 hitter at Texas. Limited sample size. Here's Ethan Mendoza. Ethan flying out to center to kick off the bottom of the first. Of course, Aiden Robbins would go on to have that 2-out solo shot to put Texas on the board. They've now grabbed some insurance, looking for more. Mendoza batting .444, despite being 0 for 1 today. Now in an 0-2 hole to the reliever, Barrera.
I like what I'm seeing from Barrera. Being able to let it go, got some good movement to it. Doesn't seem like anything is straight, so you got to stay on it as a hitter.
That was the first ball batted into play a moment ago when Ermis found the RBI single again. A couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts. Now the 6th batter of the inning, Mendoza, as Longhorn top of the order, is back up. Don't think there was a violation of the action clock. Count 1-2. Tough roller. It's going to stay fair. Mumau never had a chance. Anthony Pack Jr. comes home. 2 men have walked this inning. They both now scored for Texas. It's another 2-out base hit for Longhorn. This time, Ethan Mendoza comes through.
You mentioned that both walks have come in. If you start the inning with the walk, there's a 100% chance that that guy is going to score, let alone the second one. Didn't get the ball out of the infield, didn't even go 90 feet, but he hit it where they weren't and got himself an RBI.
Sixth batter of the inning, Mendoza now with the second hit of the inning. He and Ermis have each driven home a teammate. Here's Adrian Rodriguez, who struck out against Colton Verco last inning. Trying to extend things here in inning number 2. Only third base unoccupied right now for the Longhorns. Ermis on second, Mendoza on first. And nice to see Texas not giving up with 2 outs, still being productive, extending the frame.
Saw Rodriguez on that previous pitch, took a big swing and a big cut at it. He's still dealing with the hand injury and working his way back from that. And you'll see him wince every once in a while, but he's still playing through it. Big-time player for the Horns last year with a .313 batting average. Played some third, played some second, even played some outfield because they had to have a way to keep his bat in the lineup.
Seventh batter of this inning. Again, the 1-2. We'll do it again. Texas off to a 7-0 start this year, including the sweep of Michigan State this past weekend. UTRGV has just continued to test themselves against tough competition these first couple of weekends. Now on this Tuesday evening in Austin.
Ooh, it's close right there.
Two on for Texas with 2 outs. And the scoreboard operator can rest that finger a little bit longer. Rodriguez and Barrera just battling here. Now 8 pitches in. Barrera gets the swing and the miss. Tossed down to first. Texas will strand 2, but the headline will be that they plated 2. Borba and Pack help make it 3-0 Longhorns. second after scoring their first run in the first inning. Early 3-0 start against the visitors from the Valley out of South Texas. Well, again, a fantastic year last year, claiming a Southland Conference crown. Those 22 wins in conference, still relatively new members to the Southland. They look like they're going to be a force for years to come, vying for tournament titles. Of course, those are the ones that get you the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament.
That's a beautiful, beautiful performance by this team in 2025. You've been able to see them start at 16-3. You feel good about yourself and really get excited about what's to come, and they continue to battle all season long.
Sam Cozart, the one starting pitcher, still going strong in this one as we head into the top of the third. Space 2 more than the minimum, so this is your 9-hole hitter, Hank Warren, leading things off for the Vaqueros. Fifth-year senior. Couple-year starter now for UTRGV. Has battled some elbow injuries. Still working his way back to full strength. Batting .429 right now, and that's nice to have out of the 9-hole in your lineup. Just limited at bats thus far.
Talking to Coach Madlock, he is one of his kind of guys, somebody that goes out there and works hard, grinds all the way through it, and has been able to battle through some injuries and finding his way into the lineup.
He'll fight off the 2-2, trying to turn things back over to Garza Gongora, who has the only hit so far tonight for UTRGV.
Coach Madlock really wanted to see how his team was going to compete today. They've been competing all week and all season so far.
Not tempted by that one, 3-2. It'll be a free pass. Officially a leadoff walk here for Warren. Setting up the top of the order now for UTRGV.
See if my theory is correct about leadoff walks.
I think years ago we determined they score at the same percentage as whatever the humidity percentage is.
It's not the case. Need to check the humidity then.
First pitch that Garza Gongora saw back in the first, a single up the middle. He'll see at least one more pitch this time around against Sam Cozart. There is a happy ending to a story that we began earlier in this broadcast. Sam Cozart's feet are wearing freshly made shoes from Nike in size 18. They are the same diamond standout cleats that the rest of his teammates have. So now his size 18 blend right in.
You know, I'm glad to see that has happened. I'm excited to see that they were able to make a pair of shoes for this young man so he's not out there in basketball shoes and actually in baseball shoes.
In Warren with the walk, Garza Gongora at the plate. His dad Beto played college ball at TCU back in the 90s. We've seen Garza Gongora, a Laredo native with stops at Oklahoma and Texas State. Now his first year here with UTRGV, setting the table. And just can't put that one down. And bunting probably off the table now. One on, nobody out for the Vaqueros, trailing by 3. Cozart with the 2-2. That is a 4th strikeout for the freshman.
chased a little bit up out of the zone, not very characteristically of the leadoff hitter. But if you're Cozart, you're looking for that type of strikeout. But I know that when he gets in the dugout, Coach Max Weiner is going to tell him he needs to probably get that down a little bit.
Sam struck out. The 3 batters retired in the first. You got fly ball outs to left, center, and right in the second. Now back to putting K's on his resume. First strikeout victim was Armani Ragosa, an All-American in his second go-round against Cozart. Talk about gestures that pay off. Armani Ragosa, obviously a fantastic year last year. Probably could have had some other landing spots in college or even professionally. Was back home in El Paso celebrating his 21st birthday. Gets a knock on the door. It's his assistant coach Rob Martinez, who drove all the way from the Valley to El Paso. Came in, said, wanted to wish you a happy birthday, then headed out. And little things like that stick with a young man when he thinks about where he's going to be happy for the near future. Right now he trots down to first. 1-2 Vaqueros walk this inning.
Well, you bring that up and you start to think about what it's like in this day and age of college baseball. As you mentioned, there's probably a bunch of teams knocking on that door, figuratively and literally, trying to get him to come to their school. And for Coach Martinez to make that trip to El Paso to let that young man understand that, hey, we still want you here, that's awesome.
If traffic behaves, that's just an 11.5-hour drive.
That's amazing. It's a great story.
Sam Cozart talking to his pitching whisperer, Max Weiner, and the rest of that infield around him. There's yet to be a ball put into play this inning. 2 walks and a strikeout. So tying run at the plate, Julius Ramirez, who struck out swinging back in the first. There he goes, one of the 2 free pass recipients this inning. And Ramirez was hoping to tie it up right there. Now San Juan, Texas, we mentioned, started off at UTRGV before going off to New Mexico Junior College. He was a JUCO All-American. The DH here tonight. And Hank Warren led off this inning with a walk. Texas took advantage of 2 free passes last half inning. Vaqueros hope to do the same here. As Cozart quickly works ahead, 0-2.
Called the pitching whisperer, Max Weiner, coming out. And he's had a lot of success with a lot of different styles of pitchers. But here you have this young freshman who is trying to find his way, still trying to figure out how to participate at the college level, but he competes like no other.
3 pitches, 3 strikes. Here's your second out of the inning. Your 5th strikeout for Cozart.
We talked about being able to spot your breaking ball, and that's exactly what he did. He tied him up on the inner third. Good breaking ball, tied him up. You see those hands try to stay inside of it, but he swung through it.
Apparently got some good advice from the dugout. Not done yet. Still 2 on for UTRGV, and including Warren there in your picture. And Easton Mumau at the plate. ended the first inning looking at strike 3. Andrew Ermis, Sam Cozart, both a couple of newcomers here to UFCU Dishwalk Field. Their first season as Longhorns together. Ermis had one of those RBI singles last half inning for his first Division I base hit and RBI.
Carson Tenney is obviously the starting catcher for this Texas baseball team, but you definitely need to develop behind him and make sure that you have somebody that can give him a break when he needs a day off behind the plate.
Mumau trying to extend this inning, only third base unoccupied with 2 outs now. Warren heard the footsteps of Rodriguez getting behind him. No surprise when Cozart tossed it back. And Mumau last year, first team All-Southland, was also on the all-defensive team. And your cleanup hitter in an 0-2 hole against Cozart with 2 on, 2 out.
This split finger is something to behold.
Chance to get out of the inning with the full 3-run lead intact. He's done it again. Cozart adds 3 more Ks in the third.
You need to tell me a little bit about this, the humidity. The run did not score, but what we did get to see is Cozart do a great job. And here comes the man with the powerful swing, Aiden Robbins, showing you why he was a preseason All-American. Good stuff.
Sam Cozart, each time he takes the bumps, he has a larger lead to work with, and so far working a shutout this evening on a Tuesday night for the freshman. Texas looking to add to a 3-0 advantage. Aiden Robbins got the scoring started. Young man went yard back in the first.
Got a lot of power. You see the exit velocity and what he was able to do. A lot of strength the opposite direction. So I'll be excited to see what he's capable of doing this at bat.
So Robbins with the 2-run blast back in the first inning. Leads things off here in the third. Mentioned the pride of Yardley, Pennsylvania, out of Seton Hall. And he will be facing the third different pitcher tonight for UTRGV. Again, no surprise, each inning a new face. As this is Aaron Sanchez, grad student out of El Paso. Missed last year with an injury. He gets the nod here for Coach Matlock and company.
Sanchez wants to try to establish himself as one of the go-to guys into that weekend coming out of the bullpen. All coach wants to see is guys come out here and compete and be able to fill up that strike zone to get themselves that opportunity.
Aiden Robbins, Carson Tenney, Casey Borba, the minimum 3 due up. They were combined 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Their first time through. And the home run for Robbins, his 3rd on the year now. We boast about the attendance. Fans are still filing in. Everybody's got their favorite spot, especially those new tailgating opportunities out there in left and right center field. Now 2-1.
Braden Robbins is very, very selective at the plate, but not too selective. If the ball is close enough and he feels like he can get that barrel on it, he gets right after it.
And Sanchez will follow behind 3-1 to the 3-hole hitter for Texas. And the count goes full. Longhorns, an efficient 3 runs on 3 hits, aided by some free passes as well. UTRGV has gotten base runners early on. They've stranded 4. They got their lone base hit on the very first pitch they saw tonight from Cozart. And another free pass for Texas. Well, he's still a triple, a double, and a single shy of the cycle tonight with that walk. Does have the home run.
But he does have a lot of power, as you can see right there. He is somebody that can shoot the ball at a very, he swing the bat at a very high level, and that exit velo is strong.
That gives way to the cleanup hitter. Carson Tenney struck out looking back in the first, 0 for 1 today. In 2 years at Notre Dame. Filling that DH role this year for the Longhorns and the cleanup spot as well.
Carson Tenney has a bunch of walks on the season, and what I mean by that, he's been very selective with the way that he's gone about it, but at certain times there's going to be moments where he's going to have to jump on a couple pitches early in the count and drive them into the gap because he's got that kind of power.
Robbins held on by Armani Ragosa over there at first for UTRGV. After Robbins had the leadoff walk, second straight inning that leadoff batter for Texas has reached via the free pass. They were able to score him last inning when it was Casey Borba. This should get out of play. Everybody's brave until the final final 4 feet of descent.
He's like, I got it, no I don't. I got it, no I don't. Get out of the way.
And everybody's going to be healthy for Jared Elliott, it looks like, for this upcoming spring season, getting ready for the fall. Some members of the volleyball team that resides over at Gregory Gym. Tenney ahead in the count, 3-1 after Robbins walked to lead off this inning. And he'll have to wait for the next offering from Sanchez.
It's a good chance right here to put somebody in motion. Tenney, he takes a lot of walks, but he also is going to get himself something he can handle. And if he does, get a good swing on it.
3-2.
There it was right there. And he knows he missed it. You can see the little smirk on his face because he knows he missed that one.
And hitting 300 on the year, 222 with runners on the bases in front of him. One on, nobody out. The payoff pitch. And the walk of Robbins, followed by the strikeout of Tenney. Caught looking for a second time tonight.
Wondering if he's thinking that that ball's off the plate, because that ball just tailed right back over the outer third, and it was a great pitch for strike three. Froze him up.
Yeah, either way, Chayton Fisher does his job behind the plate there. Gives way to Casey Borba, who led off last inning, one of 7 Longhorns to come up in the second. And he walked and stole his first base of the year, and now it's Robbins off and running. And did he get jammed up going into the bag? Nope, appears to be okay. Has those mitts on for a reason.
What a great jump right there to get up the baseline. You can see his numbers, 20 of 21 from last year, and just a guy that has a lot of tools that he's trying to show off here.
If he keeps it up, he's going to start a new TikTok dance.
Are you into those?
I'm either too old or too young. Big cut from Borba, behind 1-2 now. Aiden Robbins with the stolen base. Your lone base runner here in the third. Texas plated 1 in the first, 2 in the second. See if they can bring Robbins home for a second time tonight. And that's back-to-back Longhorns now. Caught looking at strike 3. Busy night for our home plate umpire, both sides.
Back-to-back Ks. You know, situationally, you got to make sure that you're sitting up there looking at some good pitches. It might have been a little bit off the plate, but that's too close to take, especially because of what we've seen so far.
There's only been one batted ball off a Texas bat that's led to an out. Ashton Larson jumps on that one, and it's 4-0 Texas. Another 2-out base hit for the Longhorns. Expands the Burnt Orange advantage as Aiden Robbins comes home from second.
What's that humidity call? Base knock after a walk. Good piece of hitting right there by Larson. Ball stayed away from him. Hit it to where the 5 and the 6 hole and was able to get it through there for a base knock.
That is 3 times tonight already with 2 outs. We've seen the Longhorn come through with an RBI single. Again, the defense for the Vaqueros has just recorded 1 out so far. That was the first batter, Ethan Mendoza, on the fly out to center. Temo Becerra here struck out looking back in the second. Two strikeouts from Sanchez tonight. His fellow pitchers for UTRGV and he have combined for 7 strikeouts to account for 7 of the 8 outs.
The life on the fastball got some tail to it, as you can be able to see right there. And it's been impressive to see exactly how they've been able to move the ball in a special kind of way.
Longhorns still with 1 base runner, Larson on first. And he's the one who has Sanchez's attention for the moment. UTRGV had that great year last year despite the fact that they lost 3 starters throughout the campaign. Brought in some good arm talent this year. And they're hoping this is the year they get back into the NCAA postseason. I mentioned 17 times in the NCAA postseason over the years they've been on a collision course with the Longhorns. Texas leads the all-time series 55-7. including both regular season and the tournament. There was a 48-game winning streak for Texas until 2 years ago when the Vaqueros came here. Got an upset in a high-scoring affair. Longhorns back in the win column last year. And Becerra's going to have to wait a little bit longer to see that next pitch. As Larson back in over at first.
Time to go.
Becerra punches this one out to Warren in right. Gets underneath it. And that is just your second put out of the night from this defense from the Vaqueros, as Texas still manages to add their lead up to 4-0 for the home team. Never a dull moment on the 40 acres here at UFCU Disch-Falk Field. Now, are those tailgaters, or is that the bullpen?
This looks straight like the bullpen.
Okay.
Those guys were welcoming them out there. They hadn't seen them in 3 innings, so they decided to go out and say hello.
Guys, let me in.
Yeah.
What's the handshake?
It's silent. It's the code.
Sam Cozart continues his first start tonight. Only hit he gave up was the very first pitch he threw this evening. Here's Thomas Williams trying to spark something here in the fourth. UTRGV has been able to get their leadoff batter on 2 of the first 3 innings, including a walk last inning. In fact, again, their last 3 base runners have all been via free pass. All 3 have been stranded so far. 4 left on base through 3 innings tonight by the Vaqueros. Sam Cozart's had a little something to say about that. Williams flied out to center to lead off the second inning. That was the one inning that Cozart did not record a strikeout for each and every one of the outs in that frame.
It's like you're looking for one pitch and you're getting something else. The fastball is up to 94 miles an hour. We talked about his split finger and how he's been effective throwing that, but then he flips in a curveball or a slider, excuse me, for a strikeout every once in a while. He's been impressive for this young outing for this big pitcher, Sam Cozart.
Embarrassment of riches for Texas. Already a great pitching staff coming back from last year. We also bring in each year some really talented young players as well, straight from the high school ranks. Let me know if you've heard this tonight. Cozart with a K.
I think that was the first time I've heard that since last inning, for him to be able to come back and throw this good high slider. Again, it's going to be something that he's going to work on because he stayed up in the strike zone. So it'll be definitely something that he'll work on.
7 strikeouts. See if they have to switch to some other consonant before it's all said and done. Here's Chayton Fisher. Got a foul tip. All 3 of those flyouts back in the second inning just to make sure that Larson, Robbins, and Pack were all paying attention. Everything else a strikeout to record the outs in this one. There's only been just one other batted ball into play, the leadoff single in the first. Otherwise, free passes and strikeouts. All or nothing. Fisher got that 1-out walk in the second. See if he can get back on here in the fourth.
This young man is learning how to stretch it out a little bit here. 65 pitches through 3 1/3. So he's trying to see how far he can go in this ball game.
Well, due to lack of originality, Sam Gosart's just going to keep striking him out.
You can see the confidence at each inning as he continues to throw. He's just rearing back and seeing if you can hit his good life on his fastball. And right now, they're not able to catch up to him.
Any weekend starters looking over their shoulders?
Not right now, but that bullpen is going to be interesting to watch as well.
Diego Villegas. Was hoping that ball wasn't going to graze his dome. Villegas used to play elsewhere in the South End for New Orleans, where he was second team all-conference with the Privateers. The .306 hitter, 7 home runs for New Orleans. Before coming back closer to home, he's from far Texas down the valley. Flied out to right back in the second inning, which right now is a moral victory for any batter facing Sam Cozart.
I mean, when you look at Sam Cozart and you see that 6'6" frame and being able to come straight downhill, it's a matter of trying to find it.
Seven-hole hitter Villegas.
Looks like we're talking about a violation possibly, or a timeout.
Yeah, no action clock violation. That would have sent it to a full count. The count 2-2. Two outs, nobody on. Villegas trying to extend the fourth inning. All of Cozart's 8 strikeouts have come against the top 2/3 of the order. He's yet to fan 7, 8, or 9.
Missed by much on that backup breaking ball right there. You know, as a hitter, you're sitting there trying to figure out what's next, as I said. And now you just try to make sure that you get something over the heart of the plate.
Villegas over to left. First test for Rodriguez. He'll pass that test. So after Cozart struck out 4 in a row, his defense picks him up for a moment. It is a 3-up, 3-down 4th inning. as Texas goes back to work in the home half of the 4th inning. Midweek games are always good for an upset or two. You look at already some of the headlines, that battle in the ATL, Georgia State knocking off the Yellow Jackets, taking down number 5 Georgia Tech. Arkansas State over there in the natural state next door, taking down the Razorbacks. And let me see if I get this straight. The Big 12 Arizona State Sun Devils run rule the SEC 13-ranked Crimson and Green.
Yeah, it's a little crazy when you start to think about how all the conferences and midweek upsets, as we just talked about, it happens quite often.
Southern Miss also threatening to join that list with a convincing win over the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Meanwhile, here in Austin, it was 2 years ago the Vaqueros made some headlines, picking up their first win in 49 tries against Texas. The Longhorns tonight have put up runs in the home half of each inning, while they've seen their freshman in his first start, Sam Cozart, work a pretty impressive shutout start so far. Here's Anthony Pack Jr., who has been a part of building this 4-run advantage out of the 8-hole in this lineup for Jim Schlossnagle. And walked and scored with 2 outs back in the 2nd inning. All of the Longhorns' runs tonight have come with 2 outs. Don't want to make it a habit, but you like the fact that it's an option.
Absolutely.
In both these pitching staffs, a lot of strikeouts and probably a few too many walks for their head coach's liking.
Absolutely. And one of the things, too, when you look at what the leadoff part of this is, you want to make sure that, number one, you get ahead. As a starting pitcher, you want to pitch from being ahead. And as a hitter, you want to make them throw you strikes. So it's a battle amongst each other.
3rd straight inning, the leadoff Longhorn has walked. Here's Andrew Ermis, who had an RBI single in the 2nd. 2nd time tonight, Pack has walked. We'll point out Aaron Sanchez is the first pitcher to come back for a 2nd inning of work for UTRGV. Again, that's by design. And Verco and Barrera each just went 1. Runner going. Texas looking for another swipe bag. They'll have it. This time it's Anthony Pack Jr. His 3rd on the year.
Good jump right there by Pack Jr., being able to make a move, being able to get a good jump to put himself in scoring position. It's not a bad throw by Fisher as well, but great jump at first base by Pack Jr.
Mentioned Andrew Ermis last time up. First Division I base hit, became a 500 hitter at Texas. Would he dare improve to a 667 hitter?
He's trying.
This Texas will shift its sights to 9th-ranked Coastal Carolina. We'll see Baylor as well. And that team from Columbus, Ohio. This will get through on the left side. Have yourself a night. Andrew Ermis getting the start. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of RBI.
Welcome to the 40 acres. 2 RBIs in 2 clutch situations. Leadoff walk by Anthony Pack Jr. comes around to score. He almost stole third base, but decided to hold up. And I was watching Nolan Cain the entire time, seeing if he was going to send him, but he did. And he ended up getting that run scored.
First run for the Longhorns with fewer than 2 outs, if you mustache. Back to the top of the order, here's Ethan Mendoza. Ethan had a 2-out RBI single back in the 2nd inning, 1 for 2. The 8th batter Sanchez is facing here in relief. I don't want to go negative, but Ethan, not my favorite Mendoza in his family. He has a brother named Lincoln.
I knew there had to be a catch to that.
Just wanted to shoot things straight there.
Yep. I knew there had to be something that was going to lead to that.
Not chasing that one, 2-1. So a leadoff walk has already cost UTRGV once again. All 3 of the innings in which they have walked the leadoff Longhorn. That runner has come home. Andrew Ermis back on the base paths with Mendoza in the top of the order here for Texas. And the way you score in your scorebook is BB.
Yep.
Second walk of the inning with the single sandwiched in between. Only third base unoccupied. And it looks like Aaron Sanchez might not make it out of his 2nd inning of work. See if they buy the bullpen some time. Now Coach Matlock makes the walk. Enjoyed our time with him once again this year. Always generous with his time. Again, everybody around the state knows him so well. We mentioned he overlapped with Jim Schlossnagel, as well as our friend Ty Harrington.
The fact that he has spent some time with 2 of those young men that have been great coaches and always find a way to get things done and probably teaching the best way that they possibly can. You start to look at how his program's been built. You talked about all the big wins that they've had in conference and what they've been able to achieve. So he's learned from some of the best, and now he's creating his own legacy.
They're going to go to the lefty. Nick Nolan will be your 4th pitcher of the night, a local kid from Georgetown High School just up the road. He gets the next nod for UTRGV. So far tonight. And a good start there from Nick Nolan.
Nick Nolan going to keep you off balance after watching the previous pitchers come in from the right side, being able to throw it in the upper 90s. That first pitch was 78 miles per hour, so you definitely got to stay back if you're a hitter for Texas.
And Rodriguez is a switch hitter. That's from the right side here. Aiden Robbins on deck. A home run and a walk tonight, has scored twice.
You see him still dealing with that hand injury. He's actually talking to the umpire about it because every swing that he takes on that right side makes it a little bit tougher and tougher. It's one of those things that Coach Schlossnagle is going to be paying attention to throughout his time because he's still working at it and trying not to get his hand hurt anymore.
Runners are going on the 0-2 offering. They're going to have to retreat quickly. Infield fly. Signaled as that ball started to come back down. It took a while. It was still on its ascent there quite a bit. One away.
You can see the frustration a little bit with A-Rod. Obviously, he knows that he's got a pitch that he can handle, but he's, as I said, he's still having to work through some of that injury that he's had in that hand.
From A-Rod to A-Rob. Aiden Robbins got Texas the lead with a 2-out home run in the first. Going opposite field. Fifth batter here in the fourth. Ermis back in plenty of time.
I was talking to a local reporter about Aiden Robbins, and he said that Texas fans are going to love him. Opposing fans are going to go crazy about him because he's just got that face paint. Dives all over the place. He just got some swagger about him, and I know Texas fans are happy to have him in the burnt orange. Did you know that he went to 9 visits during his recruitment after entering the transfer portal in 6 days?
Now obviously a proven quantity. Who's having to wait on this next offering from Nick Nolan. You were saying something about face paint?
Yeah.
Again, these are the numbers that so many teams around the country wanted to be able to insert directly into their lineup. And as the count will even up 1-1. leading Seton Hall in each of those offensive categories.
You can see why he was an All-American last season and highly sought after once he entered the transfer portal.
A nice job by Chayton Fisher to keep the runners right where they were. Inning began with Anthony Pack Jr. being the third straight Longhorn leadoff hitter to walk. He has already scored on the RBI single from Ermis, who's on second. A walk from Mendoza would end the night for Sanchez, giving way to Nick Nolan. Nolan did retire the first batter he saw, Adrian Rodriguez, on the infield fly rule. Aiden Robbins trying to bring one or two more teammates home here. Having already scored twice himself tonight. Count goes full, 3-2.
Another good pass at the baseball. Another pitch that he found elevated. Tried to do some damage to it. It's a big pitch for Nolan right here. You don't want to give him, you don't want to give in, but you don't want to give too much up of the plate.
Only third base unoccupied with one out. And the runners caught off their bags. And the Vaqueros going to find themselves the second out. As Ermis out at third, Mendoza does move into scoring position, 2 away.
And here's the interesting part about this in that particular situation. Now the base is open. How do you go about it because you got Carson Tenney on deck? Come right after him, or do you make him try to chase at this at bat?
Nice job by Mumau over there at third, receiving the throw. One pitch later, it's a moot point. Texas will add insurance once again. Second run of the inning. This time it's Mendoza coming home on another 2-out RBI base hit for Texas. Carson Tenney.
And Aiden Robbins getting another pitch down in the zone, and that's why you pick your poison. Do you try to pitch around him and throw a ball out of the zone? All he did was stay up the middle with a hard ground ball and was able to drive in that run.
Carson Tenney up after Robbins comes through with his second RBI of the night. Now Tenney does not want a trend here of coming up and seeing strike 3 go by. He has twice been caught looking at the third strike against Vaquero pitching. And an 0-2 hole here. Only base runner is Robbins on first. That's the 5th of now 6 runs for Texas to score this evening with 2 outs.
Timely hitting, situational hitting, those are things that when you look back on this game tonight and prepare for the weekend that Texas will have heading to the Bruce Bolt Classic, you want to make sure that you have good situational at-bats.
Shot out towards center, carrying on this Texas night. It's gone by a mile. Carson Tenney got all of that one. 2 more runs for Texas with 2 outs tonight.
When you speak of me well, and that is exactly what Carson Tenney was able to do. We talked about his power and the way that he can swing the bat. 2 home runs last Tuesday. Got 1 today, straight away center field, and I've been here for a long time, Lincoln. That was over the new batter's eye and may still be traveling.
I think that one landed in McCombs for a stand-up double on the softball diamond.
Wow. That is some power.
Mike White, if you could toss that one back at some point. Yikes.
My goodness.
As fans settle down to Casey Borba now. 0 for 1 with a walk, stolen base, and a run scored. And he'll continue the good times for Texas. His first hit of the night. Won't quite go the 445 feet that the last one did off the bat of Carson Tenney with his 2-run shot.
When I say he got all of that, he got every bit of that. The load, the foot down, and pow! Straight away to center field. My goodness, my goodness. Wow.
There have been some good ones to wear that number 8 on their back in recent years. We'll see a new bat in the lineup here for the Longhorns. Maddox Mansour, the freshman, will get a chance. Hitting for Ashton Larson, who had the RBI single last inning, and finishes the night 1 for 2 with an RBI. Maddox 1 hit in his 2 at-bats. With 3 RBI already and limited opportunities, already has his first triple of the year for his first career hit. Casey Borba, the lone runner for Texas. Mansour, the 8th batter to come up here for the home team. The 5th now to face the lefty, Nick Nolan.
You know, Lincoln, when you look through this Texas lineup, it was something that you and I talked about earlier. You start to look at who they are and who these hitters are, and there's no rest for the weary if you're a starting pitcher, a relief pitcher, or just being part of the pitching rotation. You have to do quality stuff every single time.
They may have another runner off base. They'll throw it away. From first to third goes Borba, which should have been out number 3. Just an execution issue.
Good move, step and throw. Just like you're taught, do it on the wrong side of the bag as the second baseman was covering on that one.
Mentioned Raygoza last year a DH, moves to first base this year. Does an all-everything with his bat. That time would like to have that throw over. Do again. One pitch later, no damage done. Mansour down on strikes, but not before Texas able to tack on another crooked number in the 4th.
My goodness, when you go straight away center field, that means you touch that ball well, and it goes goodbye into the night.
Very efficient night for Texas. 8 runs on 8 hits, aided by a handful of free passes as well. Sam Cozart, the freshman, got his first collegiate start tonight. Did a pretty darn good job, but time to hand the ball over. And it's first time they'll go to the bullpen. Of course, Max Weiner, Jim Schlossnagel's biggest hire when he decided to come over to Texas, arguably from day one.
This was something that Texas needed. They needed to make sure that they shored up this pitching staff. As you start to look at the numbers without Max Weiner and what happened once Max Weiner got here, you can see the immediate change in the action here at the University of Texas. That's why they were able to win 44 games last season and is looking to do even better this year.
Sam Cozart, 4 innings of work. Only 1 hit allowed on the very first pitch he threw. Aside from that, a strikeout fest.
Sam Cozart, the big man, got a chance to come in and make his first collegiate start, going 4 innings, only giving up that 1 hit that you mentioned, but was able to get 8 Ks and even had a time where he struck out 3 in a row and continued his dominance.
Well, if you're playing bingo at home, you've already marked off the box where I say preseason All-American, but I'm going to say it again. Cal Higgins, first-year Longhorn, the grad transfer out of Western Kentucky, where he was brilliant last year, 4th in the nation with a 1.87 ERA for the Hilltoppers.
He's somebody that Coach Schlossnagel talked highly about opportunities of being into the ball game.
Some concern here for Cameron Carter, who just took the first pitch to the back of the head.
Yeah, that's not good. Wow.
And understandably, they're not going to rush him over to first. Having passed a few tests. What's the price of eggs?
Well, home plate umpire Teague is like, no, we're doing everything we can possibly do to make sure that this young man is okay if he's going to try to stay in the ball game.
First pitch he saw from Cal Higgins. Not sure if he saw it.
Right in the ear hole, too, so that, you know, his ears are ringing as of right now, so you want to make sure that he's okay. And he looks to stay in the ball game, but it was something that they'll be monitoring the whole time.
5th base runner of the night for the Vaqueros. 4 of them have been from walks and hit batters. Hank Warren led off the 3rd inning with a walk. 1 of 2 left on that 3rd inning. Casey Borba continues to administer the cognitive test with Cameron Carter at first. Warren was left stranded on second, the only Vaquero to reach scoring position tonight. Second batter to see, Cal Higgins.
Cal Higgins with a lot of life in his pitches. Just have to make sure that he can try to find that location.
And Warren, a .429 hitter. That's 3 hits on 7 at-bats so far. At the plate with 1 on and nobody out. Left side, chance for 2. The base is wiped clean. Becerra, Mendoza to Borba. 2 away.
You know, you work and work and work to try to get yourself back into it. He's trying to has a little bit of slot location, but he finds a ground ball, and this has always been the pitcher's best friend to kind of clean up some of the things that are out there.
mentioned UTRGV, one of the better teams in turning two last year. And back to the top of the order. Only man with a hit tonight for the Vaqueros. Rocco Garza Gongora. Singled in the first, struck out in the third. As he sees Cal Higgins now for the first time.
Every time I see those pitches right there, those are ones that are coming straight at you as a hitter that you're trying to figure out if it's going to break, and that's why you see that self-defense swing, especially lefty on lefty. That's why they talk about it so much.
Puts him in an 0-2 hole with 2 outs. Cal Higgins saw Sam Cozart with all those strikeouts. Thought he might have his first. And Cozart fanned 8 of the 16 he faced in the start.
Another tough pitch, good take right there. Nice approach. Staying in lefty on lefty.
Texas looking for the 3rd out, something UTRGV has struggled with tonight. 7 of the 8 runs allowed have come with 2 outs, benefiting the Longhorns. Chance for Cal Higgins to face the minimum here in his first inning in relief. The payoff pitch with 2 away.
If you look at his batting average against, you see they're only hitting 143 against him.
It'll be a 2-out walk for Garza Gongora to extend this 5th inning. Second time he gets to run the bases.
Great at bat after that first pitch. You saw try to fouled off a couple pitches, laid off a couple. Good at bat.
And again, you don't take for granted any time that you minimize the damage that Armani Raygoza can do. You would have preferred that he lead off next inning, but he can come up and try to spark something for UTRGV here. In 60 RBI last year to go with his 17 home runs. Tonight a strikeout and a walk in his 2 appearances facing Sam Cozart. Now matched up against the lefty Cal Higgins.
Elevated. And this is good at bat too, because again, you're taking pitches in a guy that has had some struggles of finding the strike zone. So being disciplined enough, even though the score is 8-0, and working the count is helping the Vaqueros.
2-1 the count now to the All-American. So again, 2 free passes this inning, one of them mitigated due to the double play. Becerra, Mendoza, and Borba were able to turn. And the subsequent walk to Garza Gongora, your runner on first right now with 2 away. All the focus on the talented 2-hole hitter, Raygoza, who sees his count work full. Runner will be going on the pitch here with 2 outs. And they'll have to reset. Lincoln Rose, Mike Harge. Mike, what's your pitch count tonight?
We're trying to figure out what they're going to get ready to do to get these outs right here.
I don't know if we're trying to conserve you for conference play or stretch you out.
Mine is definitely being saved.
Ball 4. back-to-back two-out walks here for UTRGV. And they capitalize with the meat of the lineup here, including the man who's supposed to be protecting Ray Goza when folks do walk the All-American, Julius Ramirez.
Yeah, this is a big at-bat right here. Well, now they make the change. I saw Coach Schlossnagel coming out. I was just about to say they're going to give him one more opportunity to face this young man, but Hudson Hamilton in the bullpen, we're getting ready to go.
A hit batter, a couple of walks, and a double play turned. Next pitcher will inherit a couple of base runners with 2 outs here in the 5th, along with an 8-run Longhorn lead. Texas about to step out of the 5-1-2 off to the Bruce Bolton College Classic. See some Chanticleers, some Bears, and some Buckeyes on the horizon this next weekend.
And that's going to be a good challenge for the Texas Longhorns. Hopefully Cameron Fluke is going to be able to pitch this weekend, so Texas will get a chance to see him. He's been hurt, so they're wondering if he's going to be able to go, but this is going to be a good challenge for the Horns.
Longhorns wrapping up their current homestand. Third pitcher of the night for Jim Schlossnagel will be Hudson Hamilton, the junior out of spring.
Hudson is an impressive, reliable pitcher out of the bullpen. He's got a bunch of experience here on the 40 acres, and he's somebody that Coach Jim Schlossnagel really enjoys every time he gets on the mound.
See his opportunities last year. He'll come in inheriting 2 base runners, a couple of men who walked with 2 outs. About to face Julius Ramirez, the 3-hole hitter, who has struck out twice tonight in his 2 appearances against Sam Cozart, the starter for Texas tonight. Ramirez will punch the first pitch he sees out towards Pack. It'll carry to the warning track. How about that? 1 pitch from Hudson Hamilton comes in, strands 2 more Vaqueros, and it's a Longhorn 8-0 shutout, still intact here at UFCU Disch-Falk Field. Austin, Texas, the new home these days of Aiden Robbins and a variety of other very talented newcomers who are quickly introducing themselves to the folks who come out and patronize the confines here on the 40 acres. See the night tonight for Robbins every spot he has in my scorebook so far tonight, I've been able to color it in.
That's been good. That is good for Texas Longhorn fans, especially those that are trying to figure out all of these new faces that Texas has brought to the 40 acres. You mentioned it earlier, all the transfers, all the different players that they've been able to bring in, freshman recruiting class. You get a chance to see Anthony Pack Jr. But the prize of it all was Carson Tenney, but I think Aiden Robbins says, I'm right there with him.
J.C. Gutierrez will be the 5th pitcher tonight for UTRGV. Stops at Wharton County Junior College and former Cornhusker at Nebraska. And he too returning a little closer to home. He's from Mission, Texas, now redshirt junior for the Vaqueros. Bottom third of the order due up for the Longhorns. As Becerra, Pack, and Ermis a combined 2 for 4 officially tonight with a couple of runs scored. Lincoln Rose, Mike Harge, great to have you with us on this Tuesday evening. What did we do all those Tuesday evenings that we did not have college baseball?
That's interesting because...
Did we have Tuesdays?
There was Tuesdays because you know what was happening? Every conference across America decided that it was good to play football on Tuesdays.
A few more runs for Texas and we can talk all the Maction you want. Temo Becerra 0 for 2 tonight. Leading off here in the 5th against Gutierrez. Looking to land this one over in the gap. Lead-off base hit for the 7-hole hitter, stretching it, and it'll be a double for Becerra.
Becerra was thinking double out of the box. You can tell by the way, as soon as he hit it, he put his head down and was thinking 2 and nothing but 2 as he rounded first base. You see the knock, and then all of a sudden he just puts his head down, and let's see what they can make out there in the outfield.
Good communication between the center fielder and right fielder, but when it's all said and done, the extra base hit gets things started here in the bottom third of the order. Gives way to Anthony Pack Jr. 2 walks tonight, stolen base, 2 runs scored. Officially 0 for 0. That batting average still at .429 for the 8-hole hitter. He's had a couple of putouts tonight in right field. His pitchers haven't needed much from him. See if Texas can find just their 2nd run tonight with fewer than 2 outs. Pack will pull this to the right side, but Williams was already shading him a bit to the right. Good scouting report for UTRGV. It will push Becerra down to third base, 1 away.
For those at home that are looking at that and saying that it was an out, he did exactly what he needed to do. He was able to move the runner up another 90 feet, another situational at-bat that Anthony Pack Jr. continues to impress. I know that it looks like an out, but I guarantee you everybody in that dugout is giving him a high five for getting that runner to third base.
Yeah, they won't score to sacrifice, but just as effective. Here's Andrew Ermis, already 2 RBI tonight out of the 9-hole. First 2 runs batted in of his Division I career. And as we mentioned, he's batting .667 now on the year. The math is still easy for him for the next few plate appearances. We're either going back to 500 or maybe to 750. Becerra less than 90 feet away from tacking on insurance. The entire infield cheating up a bit for the Vaqueros. 9-hole production, courtesy of Andrew Ermis.
Another guy that has been handling the bat well in particular situations with runners in scoring position. Able to drive in 2 runs, and now he's got another shot at it.
Tries to lay off the 0-2. They'll appeal down, and he could not hold up. Give you another look.
Ball was elevated. He was looking for something down. Ball ran up, tied him up.
That's a swing.
As my old coach used to say, if you'd have hit that, that'd have been a double.
There's a leadoff double for Becerra. He's over on third. 1 batter later, 1 out later. Pardon me, 2 outs later. Ermis was just rung up. Back to the top of the order, where Ethan Mendoza has an RBI single tonight, a walk and a run scored. Out towards center. Garza. Gongora with the diving catch. Oh, what a tremendous grab by the Vaqueros center fielder. And for the first time, it'll keep Texas from padding the run column. Rocco Garza Gongora. Good golly.
What a way to go get that baseball, young man.
Fifth, Texas shut down for the first time, though they were very close to finding an 8th run on a 2-out base hit. But Rocco Garza Gongora had other ideas out there in center field.
He was shaded a little bit towards right center field. That it helped him with his jump. But for him to go out there and extend, full extension, to make that play and save a run, that was huge for the Vaqueros.
He wouldn't mind batting this inning, though he would be scheduled 7th to come up for the Vaqueros. Here's the 4th pitcher of the night for Texas, Jason Flores, among the returning Longhorn pitchers. The sophomore coming out of high school out of Wiley was the 4th-ranked pitcher by perfect game coming out of the high school ranks in the state of Texas. Comes from a real athletic family. Brother Jordan, a track athlete at Tarleton State. Brother Jade, baseball at Texas Southern.
He has been somebody that has touched 100 miles per hour during the spring and the fall, and now he's getting his opportunity. He actually started last Tuesday's game versus Lamar.
Kids, do not attempt at home to touch 100 miles per hour. You'll break your finger. Easton Mumau, a couple strikeouts tonight. And the first to face Flores. This is after Hudson Hamilton apparently was on a one-pitch pitch count, getting Texas out of that modest jam last inning. One pitch, line out to right. Good night. And a quick 0-2 hole for the cleanup hitter. And that's where it'll stay a little bit longer. Mumau, Williams, Fisher, middle third of the order due up. Combined 0 for 5 this evening against Texas pitching, which began with a brilliant start from Sam Cozart, the freshman, getting his first collegiate start. Striking out 8 of the 16 batters he faced. 4 pitches, all strikes. Flores able to strike out Mumau.
Good life on that fastball, as we talked about. He's got some good velocity, and being able to pinpoint that is crucial for this Texas Longhorns in their bullpen.
Thomas Williams will shoot this out towards center. Could be trouble, and it will get down. Second hit of the night. Drops in front of Robbins, with Mendoza also giving chase. A one-out single from Thomas Williams. Texas has already turned a double play once tonight. That was last inning. See if they can find another one here. Again, that's the first hit for UTRGV since the very first pitch thrown tonight in the top of the first inning. Here's Chayton Fisher, a walk and a strikeout so far. Third batter to face Jason Flores here in relief.
Roll on up here, 4. Here we go.
It's interesting to me as you watch these approaches at the plate. You know he's going to give you a fastball. Unless Coach Matlock is telling you to take, you should be jumping all over that, because you definitely don't want to hit his sinker or his split finger. Especially for a guy throwing 97 plus on his fastball.
1 on, 1 out for the Vaqueros, trailing number 3 Texas by 8 here in the top of the 6th. This will get past Ermis, and Williams will get a free 90 feet.
Gotta make sure you block that, not give him a chance to get there. Tough though.
Just makes for a more interesting double play. And runner on second, Williams with the second hit of the night for the Vaqueros. And here comes the third. Fisher shoots one into right. Vaqueros will put up the stop sign. Not going to risk the out at home, and you see, perhaps for good reason. Williams down to third, joined by Fisher on first. Still just 1 away.
Nice piece of hitting, got a ball down, came through with the barrel through the left side, the right side, and then just did a hidden ball trick and got him tagged out. Wow.
Matlock will talk it over. Unlike that other Matlock, not officially a lawyer. Watch the ball. First of all, great film, that throw from Pack.
Oh, because when the ball goes to the outfield, you are supposed to touch the white base instead of the green base. Wow.
That is a new nuance as of the past couple of years. And we even had a chat with officials reminding us some of the subtleties coming into this year. Again, that green bag's for safety on basically bang-bang plays down the line, but on occasion, the base runner does need to be on the white bag.
I guess my question is, how do you score that?
That is an OOPS.
Do you care to elaborate?
Oops.
I've seen a lot.
I don't think.
I haven't scored a lot, but I've seen a lot.
Here's Diego Villescaz, who thought he was going to come up with 2 on and 1 out. Instead, there are 2 outs with a teammate on third. Chance for Texas to strand that runner. And look at the arm of Adrian Rodriguez. Fires one over. And the Vaqueros still have not plated their first.
What a nice play by the shortstop, Adrian Rodriguez. Nice. Coming through on a nice throw.
Longhorns struck early and often, scoring each of the first 4 innings. It all began with that 2-out, 1-run blast from Aiden Robbins to continue his good form. Andrew Ermis with the first 2 RBI of his Division I career on behalf of the Burnt Orange, and Ethan Mendoza got in on the fun as well. Texas from top to bottom, continuing the form we've seen through their first 7 games. We're going to close out an 8th consecutive win to kick off 2026. Of course, Carson Tenney joining in on the home run parade. Jason Gutierrez back in for this next inning of work. That ball will get down just shy of the warning track, tripping over first as Adrian Rodriguez, he'll still get over to second with a double.
You're talking about somebody that needed that. You could see the relief on his face as he jumped on that first pitch and drove it into the gap. And his season continues to be impressive. Coming back from that injury, still working towards it.
Well, for the longest time, the number of runs and hits were even, which made it easy on us. Now 8 runs on 10 hits. They've been aggressive on the base paths, which have helped them extend some innings with 2 outs. Advancing runners in scoring position. And then there's Aiden Robbins, who's come to the plate 3 times and scored 3 times. A home run, an RBI single, and a walk with a 3-hole hitter. And an RBI his last time up. 2 RBI tonight. See if he can bring Adrian Rodriguez home. Now batting .400 on the year. What have we not seen yet tonight?
Well, yeah, triple. I was going to say, if he swung at that and got that.
We've seen a safety bag that wasn't as safe as you thought. We saw some size 18s direct from Nike. Count 3-1 to Aiden Robbins. Everybody wants to talk about a weekend series, but Tuesday is when you get to see the fun stuff. Including Aiden Robbins putting on a show. 3 for 3 tonight with a 3rd run batted in.
Talked about him ingratiating himself to this Texas Longhorn faithful. He's doing just that. He's making you fill out a scouting report to see exactly how things are going to be. And he's done a great job of swinging the bat and making things happen.
If Texas can score one more here, they will put UTRGV on notice. UTRGV cannot afford a 7th consecutive shutout inning on their end. Here's Carson Tenney. Last time we saw him, 2-run blast back in the 4th. After he had struck out looking his prior 2 times up.
Big cut.
Aiden Robbins on first. Again, he's scored 3 times tonight already. Take you back to the 4th inning. 1 out. Tenney 0 for 2 at the time.
Loud bang. Gotta live with that. And that's something to put a smile on that young man's face. With that kind of power to straightaway center field, you can see the joy of his teammates.
3rd home run is a Longhorn, bringing that fight from South Bend. J.C. Gutierrez will prevail in that exchange, 1 away.
Great off-speed pitch by J.C. Gutierrez. Kept him out in front, gave it to him twice, back-to-back. Tenney couldn't stay back, but what a great, great pitch and great location for strike 3. Big swing and a miss.
Gives way to Casey Borba. 1 for 2 tonight, a single, a walk, a run scored. Stolen a base along the way. And Adrian Rodriguez led off this inning with a double, followed by the RBI single from Aiden Robbins, your lone base runner right now, with 1 out.
Borba, we haven't talked enough about what he's been able to do on the mound. I mean, at first base, he's been great over there from the move from 3rd base over the first. He's had some tough chances. He's helped save a lot of runs. And talking to Coach Schlossnagle, I said, how do you find out if a first baseman is doing their job? And he said, by not having a ton of errors and saving some of the others.
Borba, the fourth batter of the inning. He'll continue the hit parade. Third ball to get down this inning. And you've got Longhorns on the corners as Robbins goes from first to third.
Got a pitch down and stayed through it. Hit the ball hard to left field. Starting to get his timing back. He struggled a little bit early in the season, got the big home run over the weekend. Now he's starting to see the baseball a little bit more and getting his foot down and hitting the ball hard.
Michael Cantu looks a lot smaller this year.
There may be a reason for that.
They are going to pinch run for Borba. This is Josh Livingston. Go out and get yourself a preseason All-American pinch runner, will you? From the Dallas area, out of Prosper, by way of Wichita State. And we'll get a change on the bump as well for UTRGV. Tuesday night, tussle here in Texas. It's Longhorns up by 9. All about live oaks and cedar trees, but it's really the Schlossnagle tree that has really been able to expand rapidly throughout the region, leaving its legacy in its own right, including Derek Matlock back in the day.
I mean, you start to look at these names and who they are and where they're positioned. Those are some really, really strong names there. Former players that were part of his programs, and of course, being able to go and now into the major leagues.
Yeah, the name right above his, jumping straight from Knoxville over to San Fran in the majors.
Very unique situation. It doesn't always happen like that. But Tony Vitello and what he was able to do at Tennessee, national champions, and now he's getting a chance to go to a world champion in the San Francisco Giants.
Hayden Wanless is the new pitcher for UTRGV, and Coach Derek Matlock. Out of the Show Me State. See his numbers, limited opportunities from a year ago. A young man who had a stop at Hutchinson Community College, trying to deal with technology. Just about set to go. And Livingston in as the pinch runner for Borba, who's done for the night. We expect Livingston will stay in at first. Maddox Monsoor, after coming in to pinch hit back in the fourth, has been your left fielder for the Longhorns ever since for Ashton Larson. His second time up now.
Monsoor's not afraid to swing the bat, got some power. Got a chance to hit a triple in the alumni game, drove it down the right field line, played some left field, and had some opportunities And these are those moments where you try to get as many guys into the game and see what they can do.
You're talking about alumni game. You're talking about the one where there are 100 alumni present?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
And to UTRGV's credit, they had 50 alumni present for a great game that hopefully becomes an annual tradition for them down there. Again, you combine the old Bronx lore with UT Pan Am, with now this new regime with UTRGV. And it's just really great to bring all those legends back on campus, whether it be in Austin or Edinburgh, and kind of set the tone each season.
Now those are the fun times where everybody gets to get back together, see how long those stories last, and how great they become each step of the way.
Mansour with the walk. Bases loaded for the Longhorns. Aiden Robbins, after his RBI single, is on third. Livingston, the pinch runner, on second. Joined by Mansour. We saw Becerra with the double just last inning to lead off the fifth. So he'd be stranded on third. First time Texas did not plate a run tonight.
Big opportunity right here. Bases loaded, get a chance to drive in some runs. Texas is 7 of 12 with 2 outs this game, and it's been important for what they've been able to do. They're 8 of 20 with runners on, and 6 of 14 with runners in scoring position. Very, very impressive, and things that Texas can continue to grow as they go.
And looking to ride this momentum out of town this weekend. Two and one. Wanless able to find the strike zone with that one. Bases loaded, already 1 run has come home here in the 6th. Becerra is your 6th Longhorn hitter this inning. And if he comes through here, there may not be a bottom of the 7th. Shot up the middle. Texas into double digits tonight. The 90-foot merry-go-round advances. Aiden Robbins pushed home the final 90 feet.
Nice piece of hitting by Becerra. Got a ball down, was able to hit it right back up the box. I don't know what Josh Livingston was doing with the run, with the ball being hit up the middle. Supposed to check and see and kind of look back and took back on the line drive, but I know that Coach Kane was talking to him about, you got to score on that. Know where your fielders are.
Gives way to your 8-hole hitter, Anthony Pack, who scored twice tonight, each time when he walked. If he can find his first runs batted in this evening. Seventh batter to come up here in the 6th inning. Pinch runner Livingston on third, Mansour on second, Becerra on first. And facing Caden Wanless, the 6th pitcher of the night for UTRGV.
Hey, way to battle, 6!
Impressive young freshman, Anthony Pack Jr. You know, he's been battling every at-bat, and after that first game of the season where he had the 3 base hits, you could tell that the confidence was growing in that young man. It was like, college baseball? Yeah. I belong.
First 7 games this year for UTRGV, all against Big 12 opposition. Tonight on the road at number 3 Texas in the SEC. And a poke from Pack will keep the good times going here in the 6th inning. 2 more Longhorns come home. Two-run double for Anthony Pack. His first base hit of the night.
I told you Texas uses the entire field. You may think that they're going to pull. He got a ball that was elevated, stayed inside of it, hit it out to left field. Good, short, compact swing, and is able to continue his impressive start as a freshman for the Texas Longhorns.
So Presley Corville will swing a bat for the first time tonight. Batting in the 9-hole for Andrew Ermis, who had himself a nice evening with a couple of RBI. Corville, the freshman out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Of course, Lake Charles is Southland Conference country. Corville looking for the hit. He's got it. It'll be an RBI single for Corville. The freshman with a nice moment. Next man up.
Corville is not afraid. He hits the ball hard every time. I was here for batting practice earlier today, and he was not afraid to take his hacks, and he got a chance to come in and get a ball that was elevated again and hit it hard right back up the middle. Pack did a great job of base running, but Noah King held him up at third base.
Next man up will be Cal Early to pinch hit for Ethan Mendoza. He'll be the 9th batter this inning for Texas, but he may have to wait to find out who the 7th pitcher is for UTRGV. We will step aside here to Austin. Texas has increased its lead to a baker's dozen. Ruben Gonzalez gets Presley Corville on first. Here's Cal Early, the transfer from Liberty out of his home state, the Commonwealth of Virginia. And you see Jaden Duplantier. Duplantier running on third now for Pack. Big cut from early. We'll even up the count 1-1.
See some of these young guys getting their opportunity, and they're not waiting around. They're wanting to make sure that they get every bit of their chance of getting in that bat.
This will get away from Fisher. Duplantier comes home, and the pinch runner scores. And then the subsequent mishap will allow Corville to go down at second. And with every run that comes home for Texas, increases the burden for UTRGV in the next half inning to try to trend the deficit down to single digits.
He did everything he could possibly do to try to block that. Even the umpire got there, but he was just too late when Duplantier got a good jump at third base to score the run.
So now just the one base runner. And count 3-1 to the pinch hitter Cal Early. Right now Adrian Rodriguez still on deck for Texas. He led off this inning with a double and scored the first of the 5 runs here in the 6th. Count goes full. We think Sam Cozart's in a pretty good spot to pick up his second collegiate win after getting the start tonight. Fanning 8 of the 16 batters he faced. And Early down on strikes. Facing Ruben Gonzalez.
Ruben Gonzalez with the tailing fastball just kept running away. And he was swinging through it for strike 3.
6 batters later after the strikeout of Carson Tenney, the second out, strikeout of Cal Early. 10th batter this inning, Adrian Rodriguez, was also the first. One for 4 tonight. That hit coming this inning with the double. And to appease the action clock, he's doing all the actions.
Yeah, that's his little trigger to get himself going. Here's with another big swing, and you start to look and see him shake his hand. Still dealing with the pain. I'd be curious to talk to him and see how much pain is he actually in. Is it only when he swings and misses?
Yet the first thing you're going to do before you say hello is you're going to reach your right hand out.
I'll just give him a fist pump. I'm not going to go too hard.
It's just muscle memory.
Yep. Got to know how to approach this young man.
The right side, chance to get out of the inning. Thomas Williams over to Raygoza, but not before Texas tacks on 6. Run rule in effect. UTRGV must score at least 5 with 3 outs to work with. Longhorns just put up their biggest inning yet, and because of it, they may not grab their bats again before they face Coastal Carolina this weekend. 6 runs on 6 hits for the Burnt Orange. 10 men came to the plate.
And every single one of those guys had some quality at-bats. You got to see the barrels fly and was able to find some gaps and drive in a bunch of runs. This Texas offense finds a way to get it done once again with all levels of being able to hit.
4th pitcher coming out of the bullpen will be Ethan Walker. You see the kind of support that the pitching staff has gotten tonight. Pitching has been pretty darn good as well.
They've done a great job, and as you talked about with the offense and what they've been able to do, but that pitching staff has been able to throw the ball well, keep them off balance, and when there was some moments it got a little shaky, they found a way to get it done.
Texas has left 6 base runners tonight. UTRGV has 3 hits this evening, stranding 7 runners along the way. Cameron Carter been hit by a pitch tonight, officially 0 for 1, and the first man to face the lefty, Ethan Walker.
Talking about Doc Holliday, that mustache that he's got working right now, very impressive.
Is that Ethan Hawke? Who played Doc Holliday in?
No, that was,
Tombstone?
oh, you would ask me that.
That's what I'm here for.
Threw me off because it was right there. Val Kilmer.
We'll edit this in post.
Val Kilmer.
Iceman.
That's right.
That unique delivery from Walker as Carter finds it foul. And UTRGV has 3 outs to work with. Need to trim this deficit to fewer than 10 to force Texas to come back up in the bottom of the 7th, and now they have 2 outs to work with. And it's still Becerra over there at 3rd. Over to Livingston, your new first baseman, after pinch hitting. Or pinch running.
A lot of defensive changes for the Longhorns. Blake Peterson in left field. Duplantier stays in and moves to center.
Speaking of Duplantier, will come in and toss this one back in to the new second baseman early. Mansour goes from left to right with Peterson in left. Of course, we had a change at catcher, so really just the left side of your infield is the only thing still intact. After that last half inning, your scorebook page probably isn't.
Yeah, it looks a little bit different than what it started with earlier. A lot of fans still stayed in, watched the ball game. Beautiful night here in Central Texas.
Promising start tonight for this young man. Again, first pitch he saw against Sam Cozart. Placed it right back up the middle for a single. He's 1 for 2 tonight with a walk as well. An 0-2 hole to Walker, fighting that one off foul.
Walker's another one of those Texas arms out of the bullpen that can come in situationally. He was big for the Horns last year. Now he's getting a chance to get some work in this matchup.
And another strikeout logged by this pitching staff for Texas tonight.
That unorthodox delivery, sidearm, three-quarter, whatever you want to call it. But when he threw it over the plate, it was strike 3.
They've combined to strike out 10. Armani Regoza still looking for his first hit. Does have a couple of walks this evening. It's a fair ball. Livingston will take it himself. Texas 8-0 to kick off the 2026 campaign.
Texas Longhorns have swept the time at home with an impressive performance by the Longhorns, not only with the freshman coming in and getting his opportunity, Sam Kozart being able to come in and throw strikes, but an offensive barrage of hitting, home runs, base running, everything that you wanted was in this ballgame.
Third-ranked Texas Longhorns take the 63rd all-time meeting with the Vaqueros of UTRGV. Our final score tonight from UFC Disch-Falk Field. The Burnt Orange prevail. Run rule victory 14-0. For Mike Harge and our entire crew, led by Jake Williamson and Daniel DePoe, I'm Lincoln Rose saying good night from the 40 acres.